Today we're going to take the solutions and write the polynomial function that comes from those solutions. It's kind of like we're taking what we did yesterday and just doing it backwards, but it's a whole lot easier than like all of that synthetic division. So the directions say write a polynomial function f of least degree that has a leading coefficient of 1 and the given zeros. So there's a couple different pieces here, and I'll talk about all those pieces and what those directions really mean once we finish example 1. So when we factored and solved, remember we did the thing where like, what's the solution of the yellow piece? What's the solution of the green piece? What's the solution of the blue piece? So let's do that backwards. If -4 is the solution of the yellow piece would be x plus 4. If +2 is the solution of the green piece, then the green piece would be x minus 2. If +5 is the solution of the blue piece, then the blue piece would be x minus 5. So it says that this polynomial function has to have the given zeros. Zeros are the same word as solutions or x-intercepts. Zeros, solutions, x-intercepts all mean the same thing. So if I gave you this factored form, 0 equals x plus 4, x minus 2, x minus 5, and asked you to solve it, you would get the solutions -4, 2, and 5. So we just did that backwards. Now, here's the fun part. We're not going to leave it as 0 equals a bunch of parentheses. We're going to multiply it out. So pick 2 of these. I usually do the second 2 and multiply them out. So that's, double distribute. X times x is x squared. X times -5 is -5x. -2 times x is -2x. -2 times -5 is +10. Combine your like terms, and we get x squared minus 7x plus 10. Now, those of you who've gotten really good at factoring, you might already have picked up on that the -7 is the -2 and the -5 added together, and the 10 is the -2 and the -5 multiplied together. So you can actually save a little bit of time and kind of skip that middle step. When I multiply out binomials like this, I do x squared, I combine those two numbers to get -7x, and then I multiply those two numbers to get the third term in the trinomial. But if you don't see that pattern, absolutely don't get yourself screwed up trying to figure it out. This x plus 4, we haven't multiplied in yet, so now we bring that down, and now we need to double distribute to multiply the x plus 4 in. X times x squared is x cubed. X times -7x is -7x squared. X times 10 is 10x. Now distribute the 4. 4 times x squared is 4x squared. 4 times -7x is -28x. And 4 times 10 is 40. Combine your like terms. We have x to the third. For x squared, we have -7x squared and 4x squared. That would combine to give us -3x squared. For our x's, we have +10x and -28x, so -18x. And then we have a plus 40. That's the fully multiplied out. Okay, now the other pieces of this direction. Write a polynomial function f. That means name this thing f of x. So write f of x equals in front of it. Of least degree. We have 3 solutions, so our degree should be 3. Basically, they just don't want us to add any extra x's in there. They don't want us to stick anything extra in there. So least degree just means these 3 things need to be the only solutions, And if there's 3 solutions, that means that the degree of the function should be 3. Oops. Leading coefficient of 1. Again, don't stick anything extra in here. As long as you don't have any numbers in front of any of these parentheses, you'll end up getting 1x to the third in front, and that's a leading coefficient of 1. So these directions are basically just saying, don't stick anything extra in here that is not needed. And name it f. So put f of x in front of your answers. Okay, number 2, I'm actually going to change. I am not going to make you do one with 4 solutions. So I'm going to say, let's pretend that this one just had the first 3 solutions. So write a polynomial function f of least degree that has a leading coefficient of 1 and has the zeros -3, 0, and 2. Okay. I always like colors, so let's go with colors. If the yellow part has a solution of -3, that means x plus 3 was in the polynomial. I'm going to skip over the green part for a second. The blue part, if we have a solution of 2, that means x minus 2 was in the polynomial. If we have a solution of 0, that means that there is just an x. And you always want to put that x that's by itself in front. It's just going to make things easier. So anytime that you have a solution of 0, you are going to have an x in front. The solutions that aren't 0, those are going to be parentheses with pluses or minuses in them. Now there's a couple different ways that you can multiply this out. Some people prefer to do the same thing we did previously, multiply out the yellow and the blue together and then multiply the green into it. Some people prefer to multiply the green into the yellow and then double distribute. Whichever way you choose to do it is totally fine. I think I want to show you this way, doing the yellow times the blue, and then we'll multiply the green in. So if we double distribute, we've got x squared minus 2x plus 3x minus 6. Or if you use the shortcut, 3 plus -2 is 1x, and 3 times -2 is -6. But you can get that by multiplying it out and combining like terms as well. You don't have to write that 1 in there, but you absolutely can. Then don't forget that we still have to multiply the x in there. So x times x squared is x to the third. X times 1x is 1x squared. X times -6 is -6x. To make this final, you put f of x equals, and you're done. Now, I will not give you one that you actually have to multiply out that has 4 solutions, but just for kicks to see, how well you're doing on this, I want you to pause the video and try to write out what number 3 would be. So write out the parentheses for number 3. Once you have the parentheses all written out, then play the video again. Pause the video. Pause the video. Pause the video. Okay, for this one, -5, we would have x plus 5. -2, we would have x plus 2. 0, I would move this back. We'd put an x in front, and the 1, we would have x minus 1. So to color code this for you, the -5 gives you this piece. The -2 gives you that piece. The 0 gives you the x in the front, and the 1 gives you the x minus 1. If you were actually going to finish this problem, which we are not, I'm not going to waste your time with that, but you would multiply 2 of them together, And at the same time, I would probably multiply these two together. And then once you had the simplified versions of each of those, you would multiply those times each other as well, and then put a fancy f of x in front of your answer. Okay, work on the worksheet 4.5. I believe it's day 4 worksheet. Yep, 4.5 day 4 worksheet. Feel free to help each other out with it. Email me if you have any questions. I should be back tomorrow, but if you need to email me, my email address is jgilmore@bssd.net. I am homesick, but I'm hoping that I feel better this afternoon so I could answer your questions if necessary. Have a wonderful day.